Welcome to Tales from the Trenches Tuesday. Today, it is my honor to have Julia Worthington with us. So Julia Worthington has been a fundraiser for over 25 years, working as a volunteer and professional fundraiser for national, regional, and international charities. Julia has always been a generalist fundraiser, starting out as a sole fundraiser with the Railway Children, an international development NGO trying out all types of fundraising. She later became head of fundraising for the Prince's Trust. Corporate fundraising became one of her favorite income streams, with a career highlight being winning Best Charity Partnership internationally for a partnership with SSP Rail UK Limited. For the last 11 years, she's been a consultant, trainer, coach, and mentor, running her own consultancy, Amber Consulting. In 2000, Julia created 6 Simple Steps to a Corporate Fundraising Strategy, a training program that helps fundraisers to develop their first corporate partnerships from scratch. Julia focuses her attention on smaller charities, working with many generalist fundraisers, supporting their career development through her training courses, webinars, and Facebook groups, like Corporate Fundraising Chat. Julia is also the trainer for CIOF, Corporate Fundraising Management Level course. So welcome, Julia.
Thank you.
Let's get to just wrap it up with a little bit of a fundraising question, which is, tell me about kind of the best canvas you were on. And in Canada, we use the word canvas. My American counterparts are totally dumbfounded when I say that word. They have no idea what it means. Does it make sense when I say the word canvas?
No, I'm with your American buddies. I would use the word ask. We talk about an ask. Yeah.
Ask. Yeah. Okay. Well, and sometimes they use the word solicitation here, but I always think of prostitution when I think of solicitation, so I try not to use that word.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. So my best ask. So this was with a high net worth, actually, not a corporate. Is that okay to share a high net worth rather than a corporate?
Of course.
So when I was at Prince's Trust, my kind of 2 areas of responsibility were high net worth individuals and corporates, and of course they often overlap, don't they? Because if you're working with a business owner, they may well give through the business or give personally. Now this was somebody, she'd retired from her business and sold out, made a decent amount of money, and my colleagues in London have been trying to get her to get involved with what they were doing down there for a couple of years, and they kept getting pushed back. And then this lady came to a cultivation dinner that I had. You would use that word, cultivation? Yeah,
most definitely.
She came to a cultivation lunch we had, actually. And then I followed up and had a couple of conversations with her, and then she said, "Why don't you come for lunch, Julia?" And so I went to her lovely home for lunch. And before I went, this is my first big ask, and so I was absolutely petrified. And I rang up a colleague in London. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to ask her for 100 grand. This is just, I'm so nervous. What am I going to do?" And they were like, "It's fine. If she's asked you to come round to the house, she's asked you to come round to the house for a reason. It's, because she wants to do something with us. It might not be the 100 grand that you're going to ask for, but, people don't ask you to their homes just to tell you to go away." So I went round to see her. Absolutely lovely woman. She looked like your granny. She'd got 4 little dogs that were all running around, and on a subsequent visit, one of those little dogs did bite me, so I wasn't that fond of the dogs, but they didn't bite me on this occasion. And then we had a cup of tea, and then she said, "Oh, I've booked us a restaurant in town." So she took me to this lovely place just outside Manchester, where we went for a meal, had a nice meal. And then we went back to the house, and then I had and we talked about, money over the lunch, and she said, "Oh, so who else is supporting you at the moment?" And I talked about some of our other supporters, and then I asked her for £100,000 over 4 years, and she just made it really easy for me. I did show her a brochure which I said, you might like to see this, who else supports us in the Northwest? And she was very interested in that. And that's always one of those things they teach you, isn't it, in training around high net worth, that they often want to see who of their peers is supporting you. And she was like, oh, yes, I know them. Oh, and I know them. Oh, yes, and I know them too. So for her, that was the real confirmed that this was okay and it was safe, and she could support us. And yeah, so she became a $100,000 donor, and she just made it. This was just joyous, it was just lovely, and we had a great relationship. I'd go and see her quite often, and she moved house, and then she showed me her teddy bear collection, and yeah, we just had a really nice relationship.
Wow. Wow, that sounds like a great visit. It's spectacular, and it's all about the relationships. It was more than just the one-off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's flip the tables on that.
The worst one.
And tell me about the worst ask that you were on.
So this one was, I had a manager who didn't understand philanthropy. And his background was very much public sector fundraising. So, going to various government bodies and getting funding for programs, which it's just so different. I hate that kind of fundraising. I'm not interested in it. But he was really, really good at it. And he wanted me to take him with me to visit one of our supporters. And I was like, why do you want to come? And he's like, I just want to meet him and see if he could support us. And I'm like, okay. But he's not ready for an ask. He's like, okay, that's fine. So we go to this meeting, and we're sat across the table from this guy. And then my boss just says, so would you be able to give us £100,000? And I just wanted to die. I just wanted to curl up and die and cringe and climb under the table, and it was just awful. But it was very much about his lack of understanding about how important relationships are before you ask for that money. And to me, when you ask somebody for money, it should never be a surprise to them. You will have been talking about the programs that you're running. You'll know what they're interested in and what they're thinking about supporting, and also what kind of level they're thinking of giving at. And so when you do ask, you might go in a little bit high, and they might go, that's a bit high, I wasn't thinking of that much, but you can always pull back from that. But this was just like something that was just pulled out of a bag, it was just totally unexpected to me and to the guy sat opposite us. And he said, oh, well, I'll talk to Julia later about that. So he didn't come away with anything, and I rang him up the next day, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I am absolutely mortified. I had no idea he was going to do that. And, I really felt my allegiance was to my donors and my supporters that I'm working on and bringing along and cultivating and developing a relationship with and understanding what they want, and not with my manager, who just kind of blew us all both out of the water with this unexpected ask. So he didn't come to any meetings with me ever again. And we didn't get up. We did.
And did that donor ever wind up giving a gift?
No.
Wow.
So I don't know whether he would have done. I mean, he was part of a development committee that we had, and he always supported that and came to events and would buy things at auction and that sort of thing. But I don't think he was actually able to give that amount of money. I think it was more in his wife's gift, and we weren't talking to his wife. So, yeah. Right.
Wow. Well, there's a lesson learned,
don't take your manager with you to meetings.
Yeah. Well, Julia, thank you so much for doing this. If folks wanted to get hold of you, how would they go about doing that?
My website, which is www.amberconsulting.org.uk. Or I'm on LinkedIn, Julia Worthington.
Amazing.
No,
Thank you
you.
so much. It was an absolute
Jack,
pleasure to get to know you.
thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed our chat.
Hi, folks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here.